What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Common Decency. I'm your host, Jenna Lee.
I'm Sebby.
And we've got some for you today.
What did you find on the internet today?
People need help.
That's why I'm here.
You know, we're not bad. We're smart people.
We've got a stable foundation.
We're stable.
There's no cracks in our foundation.
Okay. So let's give the people a bit of the foundation.
Let's share.
So we've got a guy. He says, quote, I'm a professional with a 6-figure salary, and I generally end up dating women with salaries 7 to 8 times less than my current salary.
Makes sense.
How can I be sensitive when money-related topics come up? While generally the dating is smooth, money always inevitably becomes an issue. I try to be sensitive and caring, but I feel I come across as insensitive.
What are some examples of coming across insensitive when you're like...
He says, quote, I don't know what they're going through.
What? Okay. Well, what is his concern? Girls are like...
He wants to know how he...
So he's loaded. He's loaded.
He says he makes 6 figures. So I would say he's above average. I wouldn't say he's even loaded enough to be making this post. So he sounds like he wants someone to stroke his ego a bit.
Absolutely.
And he basically wants for us to tell him that he should be dating richer girls or something of that nature. But I think it's important to talk about, you know, sometimes when you're dating, there can be an income imbalance and good advice on how to tackle stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he wants to know, as a man who makes a lot of money, what does he do when he dates women with salaries 7 to 8 times less than his current salary? When, for example, maybe the woman is like, oh, you know, my lights went off. He's making them sound very poor.
Yeah, like super poor. I mean, don't make that such a big issue. He's making it a big issue on his end.
He says he needs tips on how to navigate these conversations.
Oh my, so it sounds like these girls are like begging him for money.
Right?
That's how he's coming off. Anyways, yeah, just tell them politely and let's not bring that up after only, 7 months?
He says he doesn't want to be a free ride for them, and no woman with self-respect would want that.
Okay, well, I don't agree with this guy and what he's talking about. You know, if you're taking a girl out on a date, pay for things. You don't have to floss or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just be a normal guy about it. And if she's not, doesn't have a lot of money, understand that. So help her out if you're trying to seriously date her.
He's having a hard time understanding that is how he's coming off.
Yeah, this guy is definitely in the wrong circle if he's dating these really, really poor girls.
Yeah, I think if he's having a problem with the women he's dating, he needs to look outside of that pool. But maybe he's having trouble dating women of his own class because nobody wants them.
If you're not in the right circle and you're getting nowhere, that means you need to change circles.
Right. I have a feeling he's tried to change circles and no woman in his circle wants him.
Exactly. So he's downgrading because he thinks he has money, but he's still an asshole.
Yeah. But I think in general, you know, if there is an income discrepancy in your relationship, you have to prioritize what's important to you.
100%.
So my advice for anyone in this situation to an extent is prioritize. Do you like spending time with your partner? If so, don't make them go out and get a second job because then they're going to be away from you and then that's going to create other issues. So I think you have to really nail down if there's a pay discrepancy, what you value in a relationship. At the end of the day, more money is just more money, right?
But you can't get back time.
You can't get back time, love,
just the camaraderie that's built between two people over a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, life experiences.
But it's interesting. I think men who want their wives to be stay-at-home wives, I don't think they realize what they're doing to that woman's career by taking her out of the workforce for so many years.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So if they ever do get a divorce in the future, they've really set their wife up for failure.
Someone's been watching their housewives.
Have you ever thought about that concept?
No, I completely agree. It's like they're so used to just like being at home, working at home, helping the kids, and then, you know, they get put out on the street and they have no idea what to do. I can definitely relate. But, you know, hopefully they're smart enough and intuitive enough to kind of go where the wave is going.
Yeah, so my final advice for this guy is to try being a better guy.
Just be a better person. Yeah, dude.
Next up, we've got a real problem.
Okay.
We've got a real problem, you
We gotta
guys.
have some, also sprinkle in some winners too.
This user says, I am unsure how to approach my girlfriend about her smell.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
That is a
God,
sensitive
it's a
subject.
problem. It starts with the first time we hooked up and subsequently started dating. As we were getting so, I shall say, jiggy, I noticed a rather strong
jiggy.
I noticed a rather strong body odor like smell. The smell did get stronger and stronger as we made out and foreplayed. In the end, we went all the way and I was able to more or less get over it for the night, although I did hesitate from smelling my hands at all before I washed them due to the smell.
Whoa.
How does he approach his girlfriend about her smell?
Okay, so they've hooked up one time and it's his girlfriend already?
So how should he approach her as a man? Have you ever dealt with a woman with a smell?
Yeah, you just... there's certain ways to go about it.
Okay, what's the way to go about it?
The nice way
Okay.
is to maybe suggest taking a shower together.
That is so smart.
Yeah, scrubbing her
Let's
down.
shower
let me
together.
Scrub you down.
Say, let's shower together.
Wherever's stinky, you can make sure to really get in there. And if you do take a shower and you find her hygiene isn't best, maybe take a shower at your place to show her an example of what people should be doing.
Is there any other way that you've had to break the news to a female that she has a smell?
Yeah. And I'm not proud of them.
How did you have to do it?
You just never talk to them again.
Ah.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, there has been some instances where I've been talking to these girls, these women, and they're very, very attractive at settings, social settings. But when you get intimate and there's just only you two in the room and you can really start smelling, if there's a funk, dude, I just can't put up with that because I'm a very neat, cleanly guy.
Yeah.
And I won't make it obvious, but it's just I just know in my mind, I'm probably not gonna.
It's very interesting to hear their male perspective on this because as a female, there's a completely different story behind it.
Oh my gosh, I know. You guys come up with some.
Right. So as a woman, your vagina doesn't permanently smell. If there's a smell coming from the vagina, it means that there's a problem that can be resolved quite immediately.
Wow.
So my advice, if you're a man and you're dealing with a woman with a stenchy vagina, no, it can literally be fixed that week, right? A lot of women are unaware of what the problem is called. And I remember the very first time it happened to me.
This is great.
The very first time a smelly vagina happened to me, I thought I was doomed for the rest of my life. I did not seek help. I was embarrassed. I didn't know there was a solution. So it went on for quite some time. So if you're dealing with a woman with a smelly vagina, and she's had it for a while, it's because she's unaware. Probably she's too embarrassed to do some research.
How long is experiencing it? Should it be a week, a couple of days?
Oh no, the first time it happened to me, it went on for months because I was young.
gosh.
I didn't know.
You're so brave.
Okay. So if you're having a smelly, it could be multiple things. The main cause is something called BV, bacterial vaginosis. This is from having sex with dirty. Okay. So the men quite literally are causing the vagina to be dirty. This is educational, by the way, because I have been through this.
Listen.
Okay.
Preaching.
Okay. BV can be solved so immediately. You go to the gynecologist, they give you a suppository, and your BV is cured, and you are back to fresh, clean, new within the matter of days.
Oh.
So I thought, let me go get checked for an STD.
Good for you.
I go get checked for an STD. It comes up as nothing. So I think, I'm just smelly, right? No, it turns out it's something called BV. It is not an STD. It is simply bacteria that is inserted in your by a dirty man. So men, before you leave your woman, because she has a smelly,
check yourself.
Wash your.
Just check yourself.
Wash that.
Check yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, it's not that difficult. Just take the loofah and spend an extra few seconds.
Oh, okay. Because for women, a vagina is like a cavernous organ. So once you have BV, you need medication to get rid of it. You can't just wash it.
Air it out.
Right. So then you go through that maybe I'm not washing good enough. And it's just really a process to figure out if it's not going away, and it's a process to kind of sit down and say, okay, I do need to go to the doctor. And the thing with BV is sometimes it doesn't smell bad at all. So you're like, oh, it went away. Let me have sex. So for this gentleman that's unsure how to approach his girlfriend about her smell, my thought process is she's too embarrassed to go to the doctor. Maybe she did go get an STD check and it came back negative, and she's just unaware. I think it's just important to have a mature conversation saying, hey, we can solve this quick.
Definitely. Don't be embarrassed to bring it up. Just
Yeah.
don't be embarrassed to bring it. You guys have seen each other naked. Don't be embarrassed to bring it up.
Yeah.
But also, just on a lighter note, not necessarily a lighter note, but we are not board certified physicians. This is
We're not doctors. I'm only speaking from my own experience.
This is all just experiences that maybe some people don't talk about as much. So that knowledge is all very, very valuable. If you're in a relationship,
I'm just such like an open book. It is impossible to embarrass me.
That's
like
amazing.
I have had just like doctors with their fingers up my butt, and I am not embarrassed. I'm like, do your job, doc. We're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just can't get embarrassed. So I'm such a good person to ask this stuff to because I don't judge. I think maybe I used to get really embarrassed when I was younger, and it kind of sets you back. You find yourselves in positions like this.
Exactly.
And I've learned to
Put it all out there.
Dude, be confident in life, and it gets you so much further. You learn so much more. You experience so much more. So I'm a really good person to ask
the juicy questions.
embarrassing shit too.
Okay.
Speaking of, do you have anything for me that you want to ask that you're embarrassed about that I can help you out with?
Well, yeah, we have another.
No, I want to hear from you.
Okay, well, give me some
On
time.
the spot.
Yeah, give me some time to think about it.
Okay.
Give me some time. Oh, let me just throw myself under the bus. Okay, hold on real quick.
What? Like it's hard?
No, yeah, exactly. I don't have any embarrassing shit to say.
You will. Think
I
about
will,
it.
yeah.
You will. That's how we're going to end this episode. You're going to spill the tea. And I'm going to give you. Okay? All right. In the meantime, we've got a guy with a problem. I don't know if we can help him or not, but we can try. A 34-year-old male says his New Year's resolution was to quit drinking. It has made him realize how unhappy he is in his relationship with his girlfriend. She's 34. Since he has quit drinking with his New Year's resolution, he's realized he feels embarrassed towards his girlfriend. And the reason that he was drinking more often over the last few years is because he was trying to numb himself from how she makes him feel.
Okay.
What a golly.
I mean, it just sounds like it's time for this gentleman to move on.
You know, I'm sure it's much more complex and complicated, but if you
Not really.
You are not who you are when you're drunk. You are not who you are.
I don't recommend drinking to have a good time either. You don't need
No, right. So if he was drinking for the duration of his entire relationship and doesn't like her while he's sober, guess what? He never liked her to begin with. He only liked her when he was drunk. And again, you are not who you are when you're drunk.
And guys like anybody when they're drunk.
I like anybody when I'm drunk.
Facts.
And when I'm sober, I don't like nobody. So that's so true.
Facts.
Yeah, I am such like a happy-go-lucky, like loving person when I'm drunk. And then when I'm sober, I'm like, I'm annoyed. Goodbye. I need to be alone.
Out of here.
Yeah. So what advice do you give? I mean, gosh, they were in a relationship for quite some time.
How long?
Quite some time. So, let's say you're dating someone for several years. You've been an alcoholic. You've built a life with them. You live together, right?
Well, you know what? I do have some friends.
You don't think that he should try to work through it if they've really built a foundation together?
I mean, yeah. Throughout life, I think people should work on their alcoholism. Just in general.
Yeah.
And if they've been a couple for a significant amount of years and they can see a future with each other, I mean, I feel like it would be appropriate to address the drinking. Like, all right, hey, let's just maybe do it socially or like once a month and just kind of wean off into more of a normal pace of drinking instead of like binging every day. Because that's not appropriate when you're in your mid-30s.
He goes on to say that it gravitates around her general refusal to be loving and affectionate. On one hand, she refuses to ever talk about her sex life, to discuss what she likes and how we can improve it. and she only cares about herself there. She has never gone down on me.
This sounds
This is getting juicy. Cheers.
Okay, so she's never gone down on him?
Yeah, but it sounds like there's more than one issue here.
Yeah.
The alcoholism, the sex life.
This can all be so super fabricated too, but I will say, like, what kind of girlfriend doesn't go down on their boyfriend?
One that's unhappy with their alcoholism.
Yeah.
I'm not going to reward my boyfriend for being an alcoholic.
I mean, that makes sense. So why even stay in the relationship if it's like going to
You
that
don't want
extreme?
you don't want to give up on people.
I understand not giving up.
You know what it sounds like to me, and this is my final answer for advice. They both need to seek help separately. It seems like he has a problem with alcohol, she has a problem with her life, and they need to be resolved on their own. It's not necessarily like the couple's issue that's an alcoholism problem. Her refusal to be open regarding sex is her problem.
Exactly.
So I think they should split up temporarily, take a break to work on themselves individually. And I think it's important when you're in a couple to be able to do individual work.
Absolutely. And don't think like just because you're separate that you're working on it just because you're separate. No, there's still other steps you need to take to work on yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like,
you always need, even if you're single, self-improvement.
yeah, that's been so valuable.
It sounds like this guy's problem, they're having, it's not a relationship problem. It's an individual, like single type problem.
You keep learning and keep growing throughout your inner self, your whole life, instead of just like stopping because you're by yourself. No, you can always work it. And there's a lot of outlets out there.
And it's really easy to blame your relationship if you're in one,
so
if you have a
easy.
problem personally.
Check yourself before
You wreck yourself.
You before you check the whole relationship. But yeah, we good?
No, we got another one.
We got one. Okay. This is the last one. All right. Go for it.
Should I marry a man who is an absent dad? My boyfriend, 28, they've been together for 3 years. They live together. They have a healthy relationship. But he has a precious 9-year-old boy.
Oh my gosh.
That she has grown to love. Okay. His son is never with us. He is always at my boyfriend's parents' house. My boyfriend goes to his games from time to time, but he could definitely do more. So basically, I don't think she can see him as a good father for her own children. But she doesn't want kids.
Okay.
That's the wrench in the equation.
Do you think she doesn't want to have kids because she doesn't want to give birth? You think she would be fine adopting this 9-year-old? Because he could be saying like, oh, she doesn't want kids, better keep my kid away because I really want to be with her.
Oh, maybe if she doesn't want kids, he's keeping his kid away from her.
Right.
Which, by the way, that's a really shitty father. You should really choose your child over like a...
Always choose your kid.
Yeah.
So precious.
Yeah. So if, like, let's say you were dating a woman and she was a mother, but you noticed she was a bad mom.
Like her kid was never around?
Yeah. Would you continue that relationship? For me, that's red flags all around. I don't care what the situation is. When you have a child and you bring a child into this world, it should really be your number one priority, especially when they're younger. You should do everything in your power to make sure you're a good parent. And if other people are noticing you're not a good parent, big difference. Parents make mistakes. Nobody's perfect.
Correct.
But if the general public is noticing you're not a good parent, you should probably make adjustments.
Yeah, focus on yourself for a while.
So again, red flag for me, I would have to tell this girl, do not marry this absent father. That's a little strange.
Absolutely, 100% agree. And
if you met an absent mother, what would be your first instinct?
Where is your kid? I mean, I get it. I have dated not absent mothers, but mothers.
You've dated mothers, okay.
Mothers. And every time it's like, I got to find a babysitter. Or like, let me make sure I can have someone watch my kid. So when you hear that, that's okay. You're like, okay, I understand. Thank you for taking the time to go out with me.
Okay, so for the women out there, if you have a child and you're a single mom dating,
it's okay to talk about it.
The man, typically, if he's a good man, is very okay with you having that child. And if you're finding the right man, it shouldn't be hard to find the right one because they don't care that you have a child with someone else.
Absolutely, nobody cares.
You would date a single mom.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay, good.
Thank you.
So, but only if she's a good mom. If she's openly a terrible mom.
Yeah, you got to be a good person.
Yeah.
A good person. If you're a good person, can automatically be a good mom.
Listen,
Okay, I'm listening.
We've got a 19-year-old girl who's frustrated with how much her boyfriend farts and how bad it is. How does she talk to him? How does she talk to him about how frustrating it is?
I can relate, but yeah, that is difficult. Guys,
She says they smell horrible.
guys are gross. Guys are just naturally disgusting human beings. And at 19 years old, yes, they're going to fart. Every guy goes through this phase.
No, there's
Listen,
a problem.
listen.
Remember what I said about your vagina smelling? If it smells, there's a problem. If you're farting and it's that bad to where you're posting on the internet about it, change your protein powder. There's a problem. You don't agree?
No, I mean, I agree. We're like addressing the issue of the fart stench. You're like going to his diet. So should we tell him, hey, tell him to change his diet?
If he's a 19-year-old boy, I guarantee you he's crushing protein powder. And I guarantee you it's f***ing his shit up. So go find a cleaner protein powder and stop grossing out your girlfriend. If
Okay, there you go.
You know?
There you go.
Or walk into the other room. He's probably, this 19-year-old is hotboxing her in the car. He's rolling up the windows and he's farting on purpose and she wants him to stop.
Yeah. Also, tell them to stop. But hey, they're super bad. You got to stop.
I think it's normal.
I'm going to take off if you keep farting.
Yeah, it's normal to fart, but if it's to the point where it's like really excessively bothering someone, you have a problem and you need to be a bit more considerate. You know, I've farted a time or two in life on accident, but if I know I've got a problem and I'm ripping them, I'm leaving the room. I'm being considerate.
You're by yourself.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Okay.
Okay, so I think that's an easy one to just kind of bring
Change your diet on the guy's end. On the girl's end, it's okay if you address it.
I would definitely not be shy at addressing that one. Yeah.
He's not shy, clearly.
Yeah, he's not shy.
Okay,
right.
so you wanted to wrap this podcast with an embarrassing
Yes. What are you embarrassed
question.
about that you maybe need some advice on?
Okay. I guess this is kind of embarrassing, but not really. And it's
Okay.
probably not going to be where you think I'm going to go with it.
Okay.
Because I know you want something super
Juicy. You're telling me it's going to be juicy.
It's not going to be juicy.
Give me the juice.
It's about my physical self.
Give me the juice.
It's about my physical being.
That you're embarrassed about?
Yes.
Oh
Okay,
my
guys.
God. Oh my God. What is he going to say?
You're making me whip out this story that I had in my back pocket that I just came up with. But butt.
Okay.
I want to talk about my butt.
Is something
It's a
wrong
little
with
bit embarrassing.
What's
yeah.
wrong with it?
It's just overly hairy. Like, I'm embarrassed to talk about because I don't really know what to do. Like, what guy does, you know?
I remember one time you
you-
told me you got a starburst stuck in it.
So what do? Do you like trim it? Do you shave it? Do you go to Brazilian wax, get it ripped out? Do you laser it? Like, what is...
Were you joking when you told me you got a starburst like melted in your butt hair?
No, that's true. It was a piece of candy. That was when I was a lot younger, but that also happened.
Well, how old were you when this hair started?
Gosh, in like high school.
Okay, so you've had a hairy butt since high school.
I mean,
back when you were eating candy was getting stuck in it, and now as an adult, you still don't know what to do with the bush.
Yes.
This is great.
Oh, brother. Okay.
I can tell you a solution, but it is very expensive, so it depends on how...
Well, this podcast does. If the podcast does well, I can probably do this expensive alternative that.
So there is permanent hair removal. It is called laser hair removal. Laser hair removal takes multiple sessions. It's quite expensive, but it only works very well on thick, dark hair. So if you have very fine, light hair, it's not going to remove it.
Sounds like I'm a perfect candidate.
But I do have to say I have had my butt laser hair removal.
What?
And-
Are you serious?
I went through all of the
dang.
sessions.
Dang.
I myself have
Take notes.
I have a hairy butt, and I've taken photos of my butt, and it was quite embarrassing. Where
can we find those?
And I knew in life I was going to continue to take photos of my butt, and I thought, let me make it as smooth as possible.
Does everybody have a hairy butt?
No,
Okay.
no. I had a hairy butt. I addressed it because it was embarrassing me.
So should I address it? That's the original question.
Well, you don't take photos of your butthole.
So no.
I think the only person it's bothering is you. Like when you wipe, does get stuck?
No.
That seems a bit like hygiene.
Right. I'm clean. I looked yesterday. I'm clean.
Is it hard?
I bent over,
Is it
took a
hard
mirror,
to get
I
clean?
slanted the mirror up so I could see I look
Are
great.
you using moist towelettes to make
Yes.
sure?
Moist towelettes, bidets, soft toilet paper.
You do talk about bidets a lot.
I wear nice underwear.
Does your butt feel dirty?
Never feels dirty. It feels sweaty sometimes after a long day of work.
Is it itchy because it's so hairy?
No, it's not itchy. No.
Okay, so it sounds like it's just a mind thing.
It's just a sweaty thing. You get sweaty. You kind of start
Does sweat
feeling-
drip?
Yeah.
No.
It's a drippy butthole.
Have you ever shaved it?
Yeah.
And what
I
were
don't
the
like
results?
it. When I have long hair and it goes down your shirt, and then it'll go down your butt, down your pants, into your pants, down your crack, and then like at the end of the day you get home, you have like a giant hairball in your butthole. And you're just like, oh my, it's so inappropriate, but like nobody knows. So it's like, is it really that big of a deal? I don't know. That was my embarrassing.
Well, you can get your butt laser hair removal. It's expensive. It's a process. I went through it.
Go fund me.
And now I'm not embarrassed when I take booty hole photos because it's kind of smooth and there used to be like stubble there because I would have to shave my butt. I know a lot of girls that don't shave their butt that need to. And I know a lot of girls that don't shave their butt because they don't have hair, right? I don't know anything about men's butt.
So
You guys really keep your booty to yourselves.
women, address them. Men, keep your booties to yourself.
And that's just an opinion.
Yeah.
If there's a lady out there that wants to braid her booty hairs, braid the booty hairs. We're not telling you.
No discrimination.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really preference.
Okay.
Well, that's all we have for you today for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Jenna Lee.
I'm Sebby.
Tune in next time. Mwah, love you.
Love
Thanks
you
for
too.
watching.